Well, howdy, patriots, from sea to shining sea. It's time to sing a trump, crushing the socialist spree. He's the boss in the White House, making America great, while Dems flail in failure, sealing their fate. Pro-democracy hero took a bullet for us all, bringing freedom worldwide. Hear the liberty call. Trump's building walls high, securing the border tight, over 400 miles strong, keeping threats out of sight. Economy booming, 7 million jobs in the bag, unemployment at rock bottom, family incomes on the rise, no lag. Tax cuts permanent, no tax on tips or overtime pay. One big beautiful bill signed on Independence Day. Energy dominant, drilling for oil and gas, affordable prices, kicking green extremism's ass. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Trump's crushing the socialist foe, making Dems look silly, watch their empire crumble low. Pro-democracy king, patriot through and through, took a bullet for freedom, red, white, and true. Nobel Peace Prize coming, better hand it over quick. Trump saving the world, making tyrants feel sick. America first, law and order strong, while lefties protest nonsense, they're just plain wrong. Space superiority locked, innovation flying, Genesis mission launching, pediatric cancer dying, Mayhem Commission fighting chronic disease with might, phasing out toxic dyes, making health shine bright. Trade deal sealed, tariffs hitting hard on foes, Western Hemisphere focus where real security grows. Global health reformed, executive order stacking, while Dems divide and flop, their coalition cracking. Dems in disarray, losing the working class vote, internal fights raging, comfort and sinking like a boat. Failed to fix the economy, high prices still sting, unpopular as ever, midterms gonna bring the sting. Ideological rifts, progressives versus the rest, crisis of failures, putting them to the test, and fighting like cats, no message that sticks. Trump makes them look silly with his winning tricks. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Trump's crushing the socialist foe, making Dems look silly, watch their empire crumble low. Pro-democracy king, patriot through and through, took a bullet for freedom, red, white, and true. Nobel Peace Prize coming, better hand it over quick. Trump saving the world, making tyrants feel sick. America first, law and order strong, while lefties protest nonsense, they're just plain wrong. Oh, those ridiculous protests, anti-law and order clowns, over 1,000 events, shutting cities down. Ice out for good, no, there's chaos in the street, banging pots at hotels, throwing snow, what a treat. Frog suits in Portland, upside down flags in NYC, crying about enforcement while criminals run free. After any good shooting, they rage and they wail, but ignore the facts, Trump's justice won't fail. Huge fraud in Minnesota, beyond belief's wild edge. Somali scheme, stealing billions, that's the pledge. feeding our future fake meals, autism therapy scams, daycare doors locked, no kids, what a sham. The Leering Center misspelled, can't even get it right. Healthcare heists, education cheats under walls as oversight. Nick Shirley exposed it, citizen journalism spark. Terror funds flowing, leaving taxpayers in the dark. Hey, hey, ho, ho! Trump's crushing the socialist vote, making dams look silly, watch their empire crumble low. Pro-democracy king, patriot through and through, took a bullet for freedom, red, white, and true. If the peace prize coming, better hand it over quick. Trump saving the world, making tyrants feel sick. America first, law and order strong, while lefties protest nonsense, they're just plain wrong.
All right, hello everybody and welcome. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. My name's Ian. It is so difficult to get home and 20 minutes later get this broadcast on the air. I'm really hoping that Trey don't take any more time off for a while. I've been working late every night this week. I've been working the extra hour till 8 o'clock. And then I come home, I get home just before 9, and at 9:30 I go on. Starting back tomorrow, we'll be going on at 9. So there you go. We're going back to normal. As of tomorrow, Trey will return tomorrow. I got Mama Kitty right here. I'll go ahead and dispel with the news right off the bat. Dada Kitty is hanging in there. He actually has improved a little bit today. His fur looks a little better. He's not gaining any weight yet. I mean, he is certainly not out of the woods. This still may end tomorrow or Monday, but I'm thinking that if there was a chance, there may be one here. He's jumping down off the bed now and back up on the bed. A couple days ago, he couldn't do that. I don't know. He seems to be doing okay. I'm feeding him all kinds of food and... yeah, he's drinking, he's doing all his business, so he's not out of the woods, though. He's very sick kitty, but he may make it. Thank you for all your prayers, guys. I think it helps. I really do. All right, Mama. See you later. All right, so anyway, that's what we got. They added more storm chasers to... weather-wise, that's cool. All right, so there you go. Daddy's doing good, not doing great, but he's better than the last couple of days. It seems like we've had 3 days where he's gotten marginally, slightly better each day, and today he's not doing so bad. He's still very wobbly and very weak. All right, so there we go. He's looking at me over there. He'll probably come by in a little while. All right. So other than that, there's a lot going on out there today. That situation last night down here in Florida, down here on my interstate here, that has resolved itself. The man's still in the hospital. He got shot up pretty good by law enforcement. I got to go let her out. Just stand by. Why you gotta be a pain in the ass? Okay. There we go. That's done. She wants to be out in the shed with just her and I. She's a little selfish. She comes in here to hang out with me for a little while, but she doesn't really like it here. She wants to be out in the shed. So anyway, or the studio, the ham shack, whatever you want to call it. All right, so let's figure out where we're at. I watched season 4, episode 1, just dropped this morning, of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I'm going to take a few minutes to tell you my thoughts, and then I'm going to move on to news. So it's not going to be a 50-minute segment. It's going to be about a 10-minute segment. So hang in there. If you're not a Star Trek fan, I'm sorry. All right, it premiered this morning, season 4, episode 1. Now, this is not that one that I trash all the time. This is made by some of the same people and by some different people. And the Strange New Worlds is the only new Trek that I like. Other than the last season of Picard, this has been the only new Trek that I like. Now, each season so far has had a really bad stinker and has had some good and some bad episodes. Well, here we go. Season 1, 2, and 3. All 3 of them had a really bad episode. One that is not worthy of the name Star Trek. And then, like the last season, season 3, most of the episodes were not that good. So here we are, season 4, episode 1. Now they're doing the same thing again. And I'm going to try not to give any bad spoilers. If you guys want to go still watch it, it's a decent episode. It's worth watching. But I am going to say that it kind of felt like 2 unfinished episodes a little bit. It was a little undercooked for a season premiere, if you ask me. As usual with Kurtzman Trek, everything rode on this, and everybody was going to die in the entire universe if they didn't save the day. Of course, there was a landing party with all females on it, which, here we go. It's like there always has to be the woke element in there, I think most people in this new Kurtzman universe, most of the people on these ships are all lesbians. Anyway, I don't really understand why they have to do this, but that's what they're doing. It's not near as woke as Academy was, and even to some degree not as woke as Picard was. So I'm watching it. I'm watching it legally. I've signed up for Paramount Plus through my Amazon account, and I'm going to cancel it after these weeks are over. Whatever, I don't know how many there is. I know they're chicken shitting out on some of the episodes. They've already announced that they're not doing a full season. They're going to do 8 or 10 episodes this season. They call 10 episodes a full season. When Star Trek originally came on, 24 episodes was a full season. 24. That way you could play them twice in 1 year. And that left you 2 weeks off for Christmas and Thanksgiving. It worked. That's the way TV worked back then, okay? But it doesn't work that way anymore. Now it's, we did 10 episodes. What do you want? This episode involves time travel, and it's a closed-loop time travel, which a lot of us have problems with, so I'll just leave that there. It of course, breaks canon in several ways. I can't really go into it further without really messing up the spoilers. But it's worth watching. It's not a bad episode, and if you want some new Trek, I would go ahead and watch it. But I'm telling you, there's going to be some stinkers coming out. There's apparently a Muppets episode coming out. Why not? We've had a cartoon episode. We've had a singing and dancing episode, a Fantasyland episode, an idiot stick Vulcan episode. We've had all this other bullshit. Why not? You know. There was a couple of poorly executed gags in there and stuff that I just didn't like. It's the same old timeline again. Galaxy ruined, Enterprise saves Galaxy. I don't like those episodes. You know, in the original series, there was only, I think, 1 or 2 times in the original series where what they were doing was such a major thing that the whole universe would explode. There was the alternate factor, 3rd season, terrible episode. That was the one with the little spaceship that they put on the back of Vasquez Rocks. Anyway, that episode there, garbage. And in that particular one there, the whole universe was blinking out or whatever. So it did affect the whole universe. But most Star Trek only affected the ship and the planet that they were visiting. It didn't. But well, as we go, hey, you guys cut it out. Hey. Oh my God, they're really wanting to fight. Hey, Eddie, Ted. Wow, I should carry this live. What are you two doing? Come here. What are you doing? Jesus. Fighting and shit. They're kind of play fighting, but they get too serious. You know what I mean? Yeah, they came to my host Trey and they said, "Hey, we got a new sponsor that wants you to do live reads." He says, "Oh, okay. Who is it?" It's Limp Dick people, and they want you to endorse their product. And Trey looks him right. I was in the meeting. He looks him right in the face and he says, "How do you start that ad? Hi, is your dick broke like mine?" He says, "No, I'm not doing Limp Dick commercials. How can I endorse something I don't quite need yet?" Could you imagine working at, being a host of a show and literally being asked if you can do an ED endorsement? Well, the morning guy did it. He's like, "Hey, guy, you wanna feel better? Take some of these pills. Things work better. Give you a good." Yeah, he's doing them in the morning. That's fine. All right, so anyway, that's what I had on that. I just wanted to mention, if you're watching it, the first episode is worth watching. If you guys want, each week on Thursday night, I will give you guys my impression of the episode and whether I think it's worth watching or not. Because there's going to be a couple of real fat-ass stinkers towards the end here. And I mean some real stank-ass episodes. Really bad stuff. Stop it. Y'all stop it or I'm going to stun you. All right, so anyway, there is some news I want to cover today. Suspect arrested after allegedly yelling Allahu Akbar, stabbing 2 men in New York City. The incident happened near Central Park West, home to one of New York City's largest Jewish communities. The suspect is in custody after yelling Allahu Akbar while stabbing 2 men in what officials are describing as an apparent anti-Semitic attack in Manhattan's Upper West Side, and this happening just this afternoon. The New York City Police Department, or NYPD as I call them, said one of the victims is Jewish, and that witnesses reported hearing the suspect yelling Allahu Akbar. Okay, how many times do you think they're going to say that in the article? During the assaults. While it took place near 84th Street and Central Park West, the largely Jewish community. Investigators are evaluating whether the reported attacks should be classified as a hate crime. I hate this. I hate this. Aren't all crimes hate crimes? If you rip a woman's purse and take off running with it, isn't that a hate crime? I don't know. I don't understand the whole hate crime thing. I think it's stupid. Yeah, I'm sure Zoran Mamdani will take care of this. The Kami Memdami. Dumbass. Can't stand that frickin' guy either. All right, so anyway, investigators are evaluating it. Like I said, it might be some kind of hate crime. What if it's not a hate crime? Is it a nice crime? Oh, sorry, ma'am, I have to steal your purse. Is that not a hate crime? Or if you just punch her in the head and take it, is that a hate crime? This is stupid. So if you rob a guy, you get a year. But if you're white and you rob a black guy, you get 3 years. Is that how it works? I mean, the whole thing's just stupid. I believe that a crime is a crime is a crime, and you should do the time. That's the way it needs to be. It shouldn't be all this bullshit. This is a hate crime. This is not a hate crime. This is a aggravating circumstance for this crime and that crime. It's stupid. Just, it should be, there's the crime, there's the time, boom, be done with it. Yeah, you can't lovingly murder someone. Isn't that a hate crime then? You know? If you break into someone's house and murder them and take their jewelry, don't you hate them? I mean, it sounds like you do anyway. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't get the whole hate crime thing. While the perpetrator has no known mental health history, the initial investigation suggests that mental health may have been a factor. You think? Could be. Could be. I don't know. Maybe. They're investigating whether it was a knife or a screwdriver. Police look next to him right there. It's laying there. Or it's still hanging out of somebody. You should be able to figure out pretty easily whether it was a knife or a screwdriver. But once again, they just won't report. See, I don't know if you guys know this. 80 or 90% of the time when they tell you they cannot give you information because it's an ongoing investigation, or they're not going to release that information, or they can't talk about it. It's all bullshit. Most of the time it's bullshit. They just don't want to deal with you as the media or as the public right now, so they just put you off. And then they'll call a press conference, and everybody will walk up and say absolutely nothing. It's ridiculous, this process we go through where they act like they're telling us what's going on, but they're not. They act like they're being transparent, but they're not. They'll come out and literally give you all the facts that you already know and then say that's all we can give, and then they walk away. And it's like, but you absolutely can give us more information if you wanted to. Most of the time, it's not compromising information. They just say it is because they're too frickin' lazy to deal with it at that moment in time. No, New York City is one of the more corrupt law enforcement agencies in the country. I don't know how much of anything they say, I believe. WABC reported the police are investigating. Hours after the attack, New York City Mayor Zoran the Kami Memdami, who recently called on the federal government to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, said he had been briefed on what he described as a horrifying stabbing, and noted the victims were an Asian man and a Jewish man. Well, if it was an anti-Semitic attack, he got it half right, I guess. According to witnesses, the victim's statement, the perpetrator yelled, "God, this is the 5th time during both attacks," Mamdani said. The New York PD responded immediately and arrested Raul Morales in connection with both assaults, and I'm grateful to the officers for their swift response. Memdami, the Kami, issued a statement roughly 2 hours after City Council Speaker Julian Menin and about 45 minutes after Governor Kathy, the deluded bitch Hochul. I'm absolutely sickened and infuriated by what appears to be an anti-Semitic stabbing on the Upper West Side, Menin wrote in his X post. while we await additional details to confirm what happened, we know that what is happening in our city is abhorrent. You think? Oh my God. And then it just goes on and on with all the stupid responses from all the idiots that work there. All right, so I'm just going to leave it there. But that happened today. So, you know, when we talk about sleeper cells and stuff like this guy's not even a sleeper cell. What this guy is a guy that reads too much shit online, and he has become remotely radicalized. Look at him. Well, you can't see him, but he's a white guy. I mean, he doesn't look Middle Eastern to me. Now, I could be wrong. It's sometimes hard to tell. Jewish, Middle Eastern, Italian. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell. This guy looks like a perfectly white, thin Caucasian male. He does not look ethnic at all. So, yeah, he I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But he's obviously been radicalized by groups or people that he's met on the internet or somehow. They're starting some new studies today on microplastics. Apparently, they're dissecting hearts of people that die of catastrophic heart attacks, and they're finding these microplastics inside the organ. Researchers found detectable micro and nanoplastics. Nanoplastics are even smaller than microplastics. And they're nearly 84% of patients who suffered active heart attacks. So another new avenue of research opens up, and hopefully we can do more of these research studies. As we use AI more and more, we can start to draw commonalities between things. Like you can feed in people's complete health history for 10,000 people and then put in what they've suffered from and everything, and you can start to build basically an algorithm or a process where the AI will be able to say, well, hey, you know what? Most of the people that had A also had B, or most of the people that took A ended up with C. Once we can draw those conclusions out of the data, that's one place where AI is really going to help us a lot. Yeah, well, remember my rule. If he's white and he's male, they'll let you know his name within the first couple of hours. Now, that being said, if he's transsexual, it could be 2 weeks. Yeah, if he's some kind of transsexual, it could be 2 weeks. And I don't know why that is. If he's gay, it could be 7 to 10 days. And if he's just some kind of leftist fruitcake, it's going to be a week. But if he's a far-right, gun-toting white guy, they would have already given his name. They would have already given everything about him. All right, D-Beard, we'll see you in a little while. Have a good one. We hope to get you back on. Ted, why are you being an asshole tonight? What's going on? He's got a little something wrong with one of his eyes. I don't know exactly what it is. It's just watering. But he's a big old healthy cat. He'll get over it. Yep, have a good evening. Let me take a look, Moorhead. Oh, yeah. Yep. Guys, you know, again, every time we talk about AI, everybody panics. It's like, oh, God, they're going to be doing everything. And let me tell you what, I would rather have a machine teach my child than these liberal people that are teaching them now. Okay, so at least with AI, we can make sure that it's doing the right thing on a daily basis. This story, I heard about this, but I haven't read about it yet. In an era with artificial intelligence can help teach children, has arrived in a Hialeah school. That's Hialeah here in Florida. The robot's name is Pepper. What began as a grandfather's dream to build the best possible kindergarten for his first granddaughter has pushed William Bill de la Sierra to continuously reinvent education. 24 years ago, a real estate developer built the private school Kid World USA from the ground up. Now he has introduced one of the boldest ideas yet, an AI-assisted robot teacher. Pepper sports a pirate-themed wardrobe reflecting her role as captain in the classroom. You know, captains wear things other than pirate garb, but that's okay. When AI started to become popular, I said, hey, I've got to get them excited about artificial intelligence. And I think that's a good thing. People are too scared of it right now. Because he said that that is the future for everything for these kids. They're going to have to deal with AI. Kids World USA offers classroom programs from pre-kindergarten through 7th grade. It plans to add 8th grade next year, and now the school is introducing AI to students in an interactive way through the robot that will be able to teach 3 subjects, science, math, and history. On February 2nd, Pepper was introduced to students alongside Hialeah's mayor, Brian Calvo. Rolling into the room, the robot quickly became the center of attention, with students eager to take photos during a brief scripted exchange. Calvo spoke with Pepper in English about education and leadership. She said she brings artificial intelligence into the classroom and helps future leaders grow up smart and confident. Okay, so the pirate's a girl, I guess. Do you know how many girl pirates there actually were? Yeah, you guessed it. Pepper, just 1 week old at the time, was still developing her software and learning to control her movements, but that didn't stop. Don't you think they should get it fully trained before it's in the classroom with kids? Just thinking, yeah, out loud, you know. She can move her head and arms like a human, like the way it is expected to eventually interact with students once she is fully trained. Initially, she will teach in English, but she also has the ability to operate in Spanish. Why not in any language? A tablet embedded in her torso displays programmed messages. On the day of the presentation, the screen showed the name of the school. Behind the robot's voice is Kevin Soto, a 24-year-old mechanical engineer with a master's degree in aerospace engineering and a background in robotics research, who has been a KidWorks counselor for years. He was hired as a consultant to research and develop the AI robotic program for the school and will train and support their teachers. Soto built the technical infrastructure that will allow Pepper to function as a teacher. So there you go. That's pretty cool. There's actually more to read here, and that is the link to the article that was put in there. So you guys go read more. But this is coming, and I got to tell you, one of the... am I locked up here? What's going on? What are we doing? Computer issues at work, computer issues at home. I can't deal with this. Yeah, welcome. Hey, Callie Prepper. Hey, everybody. Hey, Sarcastic Susie and Jungle and Cat and Dispatch. Boy, everybody's coming in. Moorhead. Glad you guys are all here tonight, Cat. And, yeah, very good. Thank you guys for all coming in. I appreciate it. All right, so what else is going on out there? Well, explosions have been reported across Iran this evening as it's in the middle of the night now in Iraq, and explosions have now been heard across Iran amid fresh U.S. strikes, this according to reports in the Fox News. Explosions were heard across multiple parts of Iran on Thursday after the U.S. military launched another wave of strikes targeting Iran military capabilities, according to local media. What, did this go to some commercial or something? Jeez. What a pain in the ass. All right. The outlet said multiple explosions were reported in the southern city Chavez, according to Iran's Fairs news agency. A separate explosion was heard west of the port city of Bandar Abbas, and Iran's state broadcaster reported also, according to Reuters. CENTCOM finishes 13th night of strikes. This released 39 minutes ago. U.S. CENTCOM Command said Thursday it completed its 13th night of strikes against the Iranian military targets and maritime infrastructure. The U.S. Command CENTCOM forces successfully completed the 13th consecutive night of strikes. They said they targeted Iranian military command centers, drone storage facilities, communications networks, coastal surveillance sites, and maritime capabilities to further diminish the threat posed by Iran. All right, let's see here. Iran has rejected the latest ceasefire proposal. They're going to get bombed back to the 6th century because they won't. They just won't capitulate at all. All right, well, that's fine if that's what they want to do. If they want to get back to the 6th century, we'll be glad to make sure they get there. That's fine. All right, so what else is going on out there? Can I tell you what I'm sick of? I'm sick of a news story. Heidi Klum goes topless on the beach with nothing but a potato chip bag to cover her up. Okay. All right. I'm going to say it. Here it is. You ready? If you've got a potato chip bag over your tits and you're still wearing your bottom, you're not naked, okay? I'm so sick of this. I'm every week there's a new one of these. Susie Smith goes naked on the beach. And I look, she's laying face down. She's untied her back so that she gets a nice tan on her back. That's not going nude. That's simply just making sure you don't have a string across your back. Holy crap. It's just stupid. It's clickbait. These are all clickbait. First of all, Heidi Klum going topless would not be news anyway. I'm sure everybody's seen her tits by now. Second of all, okay, this was some kind of publicity stunt that she's doing because she apparently needs it. I don't know what it is. If I see one more celebrity going topless or going naked and they're not naked, I'm going to scream. All right? And I'm not saying I want them all to go naked. I'm not saying I don't. All I'm saying is quit with the clickbait bullshit, okay? If you're going to do it, say you're going to do it. Have the balls to do it. And then do it. Make it so. Pull them bad boys out. But this whole thing is just stupid. The picture of her is a picture of her with potato chip bag over her boobs. That's not... I mean, I'm sitting here looking at it. You can see part of one boob. That's it. Just part of one boob. She's naked. No, she's not. She's wearing an arm in a potato chip bag, and she's got her bottoms on, and there's a dog covering that. Oh, for Christ's sake. I get so sick of these autoplay things. So anyway, and then there's this whole story here about how, hey, look at me, my boob's out. Look, you can almost see my areola, but not quite, because we don't want to get too risque. Yeah, that's right. Tune back in next year. I'm going to give you a little areola, and then maybe when I'm 60, you'll get some nipple. I mean, it's like, come on, dude, this is just clickbait. It's terrible. Nobody really cares. Your boobs are out. Okay, great. That's awesome. So what? It's legal in 63 countries. Anyway, my problem's not the boobs. My problem is the story. It's not a story. It's a non-story. So it shouldn't even be on Fox News or anywhere else, or on the Clinton News Network, or on MSLSD, or any of the other channels out there. It's ridiculous. The Smithsonian thing is continuing. I'm going to be doing another expose on this whole thing with the Smithsonian, probably in a week or so. They've been blasting these people on Capitol Hill. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, what they're doing in the Smithsonian is they're rewriting history. Like, it'll say something like, President Lincoln, da-da-da-da-da. And then what they'll do is they'll add another line that said, President Lincoln, at some point in his life, he also owned slaves, or something like that. I mean, what they're doing is they have to put a negative remark on everybody. You know, the money that Smithsonian donated to this country was donated to this country to forever hold and sustain the greatness of this country in a form that the people here can see it and enjoy it. It's a museum. That's what the money was given for. Okay? They're making it into a celebration of all the bad things that have happened here. Instead of making it a story about the ending of slavery and abolition and the restoration and the giving of civil rights to people that didn't have them before, they've changed it. The whole story now is the negative part, not the positive part. Isn't that crazy? See, it's a whole different way of looking at things. I don't mind talking about the slavery in there. It should be put in there. But what should be highlighted is not the bad parts. It's the good parts. These people were owned in this country. And here we go, 150 years later, these people they're business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they're high wage earners. Some of the highest wages in sports and even in business paid to black folks. So when you really look at it, we should be celebrating the good parts of it, not the bad parts of it. That's not what the Smithsonian is about. But that's what they've slowly made it about, unfortunately. Yeah. And I don't like this. You know what this is? It's the slow drip of liberalism. It's the slow drip of just slowly trying to change change the entire history of our country, one little placard at a time, or one little video at a time. This is what they do. That's it, Easy. That's exactly the point. Okay? The story's the story. But what you put in the museum is, look, bad folks did bad things, but good people made it right. Good people of all colors made it right. That's the part that should be celebrated. But the left is changing it to where we're celebrating the bad parts. It's a whole different way of doing a museum. It's almost like the museum of everything that's effed up in the world. I mean, how popular is that going to be? Yeah, and this has been allowed to go on for a long time. You know, the vice president serves on the Smithsonian board, which means that Camel Toe Harris, she was on that board. She's had a big hand in this bullshit. A big hand in this bullshit. And that really, that upsets me. Yeah. There's also Pence. Mike Pence was on this board. He didn't fix anything. He didn't do a GD thing. I bet he never showed up for any of it. The Smithsonian is one of the most important groupings of buildings there are probably in the world. Especially when you start counting like the Big Air and Space Museum outside of town and stuff like that. The Smithsonian is amazing. When you go to D.C., about half the things you need to see are Smithsonian. Whether it's the Air and Space Museum, my personal favorite, the Museum of Natural History, the Museum of History of Man, The arboretum, which is basically all trees and flowers. It's just beautiful. There's the Black History. There's the, God, I'm trying to think. There's so many of them. And the Smithsonian's are literally, if you get 5 days in D.C., you need to spend at least 2 or 3 days in Smithsonian's. It's just that important. You also got to go see the war memorials and the memorial to Washington and Lincoln and all that. That's all important too. And make sure you go catch the World War I memorial, which is off to the side a few blocks. Yeah, well, let me tell you something. Mike Pence, I can't stand that guy. What a milquetoast piece of crap he turned out to be. And I'm not saying he did anything wrong when it came to the election stuff. He did what he had to do. He had to certify. He had to do what he had to do. I'm not mad at him for that. I'm mad at him because of all the milquetoast bullshit that he did. I mean, he is so Mallender. It's like, he got nothing done. None of the things he was involved with got any better. Now we got J.D. Vance. It's a whole different ballgame now. I never was much of a Pence fan to begin with. And now he's a real piece of shit. He turned against the man he worked for. Not because of the election stuff, because of everything he opened his mouth on afterwards. Again, I feel that he had to do what he did with the election. Even though it's more than likely there was enough fraud to throw the election the other way, I'm kind of glad it happened the way it happened. You know, he got to go in by a landslide, and I kind of prefer the way it happened. Yeah, I mean, you know, Pence was a smart guy, wasn't the best speaker, but he could put it out there. But he was milquetoast, man. That's the only term I can think of for him. He was milquetoast. He just was, hi, I'm Pence. I'll be over here in the corner, sipping on some water or something. He's so milquetoast. And it's like, I don't know. And that's why people got so pissed with the whole election thing, because they knew he wasn't going to do anything. But again, I actually support what he did following that fixed election. You have to certify. You have to. You cannot create a coup d'etat, if you will. And besides, Trump came back 4 years later with 10 times the horsepower, baby. 10 times the horsepower. I don't think he would have got half the shit done he's gotten done had he just served a second term. It was getting kicked out and getting put back in again that gave the man the fire, man. It gave him the flames. That's what did it. And getting rid of Pence and getting a real vice president. Because that Pence guy's, he's no good. Frickin' the milquetoast master of disaster. So apparently some bear just walked into a water district office. I guess he needed to pay his bill, and they wouldn't service him. But that's all right. It's like, why won't you service him? Well, because he's a bear. Okay. Anyway, so all right. So here we go. Remember I told you guys about the Obama Center and how they were ripping off a bunch of contractors and subcontractors? Well, guess what? The plumbing contractor now, Adamson Plumbing, owner Mike Owen, said the company had to abandon half a dozen other construction jobs, and he's closing his doors. He's laying off 25 people. He's hoping to survive this mess, but it's not looking great. The Obama Center owes him $4 million, and he's one of a lot of different people.
We trusted that the payment would be made.
Shut up. Mike Owen, the owner of Chicago-based Adamson Plumbing Contractors, told Fox News that the financial fallout forced the company to abandon half a dozen other construction jobs that were either in progress or in planning, and that his company is now on the verge of collapse, laying off most of his workers. Owen described the shutdown as a painful decision he believed was necessary to try to save the company from complete shutdown and bankruptcy. This is ridiculous. Why do we let Barack Hussein Milhouse Obama do this? Why? Why? Why is it okay? It's okay. I can screw them all. I don't care, because I talk like Yogi Bear. I don't care. I just, what's he doing? Why is he like that? Why does he have to be such a damn crook? He's a crook. Adamson, which performed its work in the center under the name Marsh Adams, has since filed a $1.72 million mechanics lien against the property, escalating the payment dispute into a legal fight. The company is one of several contractors to report financial trouble and ruin after working on the center, which was promoted as a transformative economic opportunity for the small and minority-owned town and businesses, and they end up screwing them all. What is, liberals suck. They don't pay their bills. They just are shit people. The previous Fox News digital investigation identified several other subcontractors, including black-owned firms and black-owned companies that were specifically intended to get the support because they were black-owned and because they were black-managed and operated. They got screwed too. This ain't a racial thing. He screwed everybody. The one company that said they've absorbed hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of loss. The other companies in the millions. The dispute involves the Concrete Collective, which is seeking more than $40 million in additional payments. Before the center opened, Owen said the project had left his company with $3.9 million. This is another one. Losses tied to delays, reworks, labor overruns, and changing project demands. Let me explain. I went in depth on this last week. Let me explain to you guys what happened here, okay? Let's say you're building, let's keep it simple. You're building a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. A rancher, as they call it in the Northeast. Let's say you're building this standard home with a 2-car garage. It's on a standard property, standard lot. You hire a contractor. The contractor comes in, he looks at your plans, and he says, I can build this house for $200,000, and I can have it done by February 10th. Okay, so you hire that man to build your house. Now, he immediately has to go out, and he has to subcontract all the work out. He gets a plumber, he gets a concrete company, he gets an electrician, and those people come in and begin to work. And then eventually framers to frame it out, whether it's going to be framed in metal or wood. And then you'll get the drywall folks will come in, the AC people will come in and run all their duct work. You got all this stuff going on, okay? Now, what happened in the Obama building was they would go to work, they had their plans, they agreed that amount of money is for this set of plans. Okay, 10-4, good buddy, okay? And then 6 months later, someone walks in and says, you know, I think those bathrooms over there should be over there. So you tell your contractor, hey, my buddy here, Barack Obama, thinks that my bathroom shouldn't be over here on this side of the house. And so what I want you to do is I want you to move that bathroom. Now that the slab's poured, the house is half built. We're at our second trim out for plumbing, or second rough as they call it. And you're wanting to move the bathroom. The pipes are in the floor. You're wanting to move the bathroom to the other side of the house. That's going to cost some money. So they said, you know, dude, this is going to cost some money. You're wanting to move shit to the other side of the building. I don't care. I want it moved. So they moved it. Okay. So they just tacked it on the bill. And so then they decide, hey, I want to build this over here. I want to do it. So they tell the concrete contractors, rip all that shit out that you put in over here 4 months ago and build it over here, build it a little taller, move it to the right a little bit. That's what they want. The guy goes, it's going to cost more money. You know that, right? Yeah, I don't give a shit. And so he goes and he tears up all the shit that he already did, brand new work, and he redoes it because they didn't like it. They wanted it done a different way. So what ends up happening is this is what happens over and over and over again. And so this happened with aesthetic items. This happened with bathrooms and plumbing items. This happened with other structural components and things. And every time that Barack or whoever would come in and start changing where walls are going to go and where toilets and urinals are going to go, and where water closets and hose bibs are going to go, every time you change these things, okay, plumbing costs more. Plumbing is expensive. And it's the only thing more expensive than installing plumbing is moving plumbing. Okay? So back to our scenario, you get all done with your house, and then you go see the contractor and you hand him that money that you originally agreed on. Remember the plans you originally agreed on that you said was worth $200,000 job? And the contractor says, no, you don't understand. Your house cost $340,000 because we had to rip that bathroom out and move it over here. We had to change that concrete in the back of the building. And we had to redo this over here because you didn't like the way it looked. And we had to redo the threshold on the front. And then you say, I'm not going to pay it. Screw you. I'm not going to pay it. I'm just not going to pay it. I'm not going to pay it. You're not going to get it out of me. I don't care. And that's literally what's happened. They changed this plan, the grounds, the building. And by the way, it literally looks like, what does it look like? I don't know. You guys know what this thing looks like, right? Let me put it up here. What is this thing? That's what I want to know. What is this thing supposed to be? When they ask them, hey guys, what is that monstrosity that your building is supposed to look like? It's supposed to look cool. It looks like a cool thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know where people get off doing stuff like this. And then turning around and not paying their contractors. This is what this stupid monstrosity looks like and the grounds around it. Look at this. Stupid monstrosity. You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those new futuristic looking USB speakers or something. I don't know. It looks really weird. Adamson completed all this requested work, but the payment never arrived. And he kept telling them, look, you guys had me do all this extra work. You're going to have to send me more money. And they finally have told him, no, we're not going to send you any more money. And that's it. So now it's going to all end up going to court. Not getting a large sum of money just kind of pulled the brakes out on the train, he said. It was just a final death blow to the company. He's bought the toilets. He bought the plumbing. He paid for the guys. He paid for the plumbing trucks. He paid for everything. He paid for the insurance. He paid for the gas. He paid for the glue and the supplies. He paid for everything. He wants his God-blessed money. What's the problem? He wants his money. This just amazes me. They had 35 change orders. Big change orders. This man had to move out of his building, lay off most of his people, stop doing a bunch of his jobs. It's been really bad. It's really bad. The legal battle begins. He's now suing for $4 million. This is just the plumber. Documents revealed that Marshad has filed the lawsuit, which is basically a mechanic's lien. The lien is considerably lower then the full 4 million, because it was says Adamson lost over the course of the project. Owen said the lien covers the amount he believes are most readily documented. So in other words, even if he gets every penny he's asked for, he's still out a large amount of money. This is freaking nuts. What is this thing supposed to be? You guys tell me, what is it? What is it supposed to be? I don't know. Here, let me give you, here's what it looks like from the backside, which guess what? It ain't no better. That's what it looks like from the backside. Is that not the stupidest damn thing you've ever seen? Remember the opening ceremony had Bruce Springsteen, the man that's in a permanent shit state, and Christina Aguilera. I'm sure she'll be the next one to go nude on the beach. And John Legend and U2's Boner, and The Edge, among others, only sharpened this anger against the celebratory backdrop. He said the struggles of the workers who built the center went largely unrecognized. What they paid on all these bands to come out, they could have paid this plumber off. I just wanted to put that out there. Owen argued that Chicago's proud protest culture had been conspicuously absent. Hey, thanks for that. By the way, we are setting records on memberships, and it's you guys buying these memberships, and I really appreciate it. It's a great way to throw me a little cash and really help out a lot of folks. So thank you very much, Jungle Jordy. I appreciate it. 5 StarShip Adventures gift memberships. Victoria Benjamin, Bird of Paradise, Lincoln Park. Oh, man, I love Lincoln Park. More the band than the town, because I don't know the town, really. Reniva's Pets, I guess it is. Thank you for, you guys all have received a free gift membership, and Silvershire TG. Sorry, reading everybody's screen names is not my strong point, but I try. So you guys all just got a gift membership, so thank Jungle for that when you get a chance. And Jungle, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. All right, Owen has singled out Illinois Governor J.B. Prick, questioning why the pro-union governor has not addressed the layoffs or the payment disputes. But he hasn't said anything publicly about the union companies at the presidential center getting stiffed. And this just bothers a lot of people that this is going on. But this is Chicago. They're just stealing the money. That's crazy, isn't it? It's becoming perfectly obvious to me that the ownership group there, that they truthfully just don't care. Said that the contractors had held out hope that their disputes would be resolved once construction ended, but it never did. He said many of us subcontractors felt that they would eventually work this out, right, before it hits the media. Nope. They don't care. They don't give a shit. Now, with Adamson's future uncertain, Owen said the project has left him facing a personal turn he never saw coming. He says, the only leverage I have now is just to continue speaking out and see where it goes, he said. But my career, it's funny, I'm going to have to go find a job, which is fine. It's just that I do not anticipate the completion of this project would take this turn. And by the way, this is a black businessman. Incredible. Incredible, guys. But that's the Barack Hussein Milhouse Obama, whatever you want to call it, the Darth Vader, the evil Darth Vader building. That's my building. Did anybody ever figure out what it's supposed to be? Yeah, it is. It's corrupt. Yeah. Yeah, the Bears moved. It's a shame that there won't be any more Bob Zorski Superfan show talking about that particular team, the Bears. Yep, guys. Listen, I've between dying cats and burned out pumps and air conditioners out, I have delayed a couple times doing a few membership things with you guys. It's coming, please. It's coming. We've got 55 members now, and I'm going to. We're going to do a membership group meeting on Zoom. I just haven't. Got to put it together, guys. Just give me a few more weeks, and I'll get this going. And we're also going to do some other stuff too. So I just started the memberships not long ago, and I'm getting into the swing of it here. But I've had a lot of crazy shit happen in my life in the last 4 weeks, and so I never got that Zoom meeting going that I wanted to get going. So bear with me. We're going to do it. I want to do it. What we're wanting to do. Hey Ed, we're wanting to do a Zoom meeting with you guys and me and Ed. And talk to you guys about what you would like to do or see for the show or everything else, and then just socialize, get to know each other a little bit. I think it'd be great to have some FaceTime. I prefer everybody turns their camera on, but it's not required. All right, let's see here. Yep, we're going to do more stuff. I also am looking at doing weekly writings that'll be members only. I've got 3 different things I'm working on right now, but it's a bit of a slow start, because I've got crazy shit going on in my life right this minute. All right, so, and I've got a mom I'm taking care of that needs quite a bit of care, and so, you know, I do what I can when I have time. You know, when you commit to 2 or 3 hours a night, 7 nights a week, it's hard to get anything else done when you're already doing another 3-hour show 5 nights a week. So yeah, we're trying, we're getting there. The power of autocorrect. Cat, your ass is literally 1 inch from my mouth. Was that okay, do you think? Was that okay? Were you wanting me to take a sniff? Was that what it was? It's like, hey man, take a sniff. It's right there. Did you say hi to everybody up here? Hey. Say hi to everybody. Cats, man, they don't perform. You know what I mean? This is Ed Earl, for those that don't know. Ed Earl. I call him my pet store cat, because of all the cats I've ever had, this guy wouldn't have lasted 10 minutes in a pet store. He's just a beautiful cat. He's a steel gray, and he's absolutely beautiful. And now that he's 10 years old, he's turning brown, and he don't walk so well anymore. He's starting to turn brown. You ever wonder what a gray cat does when they turn gray? They turn brown. Anyway, yep. He's a good kitty. He's one of the few that will go. Him and Mama will go with me no matter what. And then I got the little one. I put him out because he wanted to go out. But and I've got the little one's brother is now letting me pick him up a little bit. So probably over this weekend I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to bring him into to the room here and start getting him acclimated for that. All right, let's see here. By the way, the tropical storm Bertha, inland now in Texas, no longer a threat. Never really was a threat. It was kind of a lame-ass deal, really. Hold on just a second. I'm getting that link. Okay. This is the link to listen to my show live between 5 and 7 Eastern. 5 and 8, I mean 5 and 8. And then, let's see.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry
Shut
incredible
up.
and fights stubborn smells, like the ones you...
Up. For Christ's sake. And then if you missed the show and you want to go back and listen to it, here's the link for this one. This is the podcast. And then if you're in the local area here, you can also watch us on the CW, on CW6. You can also get us on 46-1 and 46-5, and on frequency modulation at 92.5 megahertz. All right. Yep. It's called The Drive with Trey Radel, and I am the executive producer of the show. I have two other producers. Trey and I are actually on TV here locally on the CW. We have a camera in there that switches back between the two of us. And I also am able to put up things, just like I do here for you guys, at work. I actually have all the same kind of technology I have here, and I'm able to screen capture and put up different things on the CW6. So when people are watching on TV, they can see pictures or video of what we're talking about, like B-roll or whatever. So it's pretty cool. It's a changing of roles for me. I was basically the principal producer, the person that was always sitting behind the glass producing. Now we've just, Kat's still there, but we've hired another producer, John. So we're going to have two producers in the producer room, and I have moved into the studio where I'm now on TV with Trey. I bought 3 more collared shirts today. As you guys know, I hate doing laundry, and because of my rusty well water, I don't use my local laundry, my personal laundry here, because it makes all my clothes look like manila envelopes. So what I do is I go to the laundromat. I love using those big metal machines at the laundromat. I can get my whole laundry in. 35 minutes later, it's done, and it's very clean. And so what I want to do is I'm trying to get it to where I can go 4 weeks without doing laundry. So I now have 15 really nice shirts that I can wear on TV. So I'm getting close. I'm getting close. I need, that's 3 weeks worth. And then I have about 4 or 5 other shirts that I can also wear, like these here that have the logo and stuff. I had another one of these on last night, the darker one. And so I have several of these shirts. I also have 3 or 4 other shirts I can still wear. So my goal is I'm going to buy a bunch of socks and underwear this weekend, and I'm literally going to start going to the laundromat once every 4 weeks. And because it's just me. The cats don't wear clothes. So I'm going to go ahead and just start doing that. I've decided. And those 2 big machines will just hold 4 weeks of clothing without being too crowded. I use 2 big machines. That's the way to go, guys. I mean, it really is. If you're a bachelor and you've got to do your own laundry and you got to drive down the street to do it, let's just do it once a month. Let's just do it once a month. And I like those big machines because they lock. Once those machines lock, I get in my car and leave. I got 38 minutes. I go do 3 or 4 things real quick and come right back, and then I throw them in the dryer, and I just wait for them to be done. About 20 minutes, they're done. All right, so there we go. Imagine having a socialist terrorist teaching your kids history. I think it's happening right now all over the country. Single guy laundry is easy. I don't hang anything up. All my shirts go over the bar. I put them over the bar on the laundry cart. So I'll have 10 or 15 shirts over the bar. And then everything else goes in the sheet that goes back on the bed. And then when I put everything in the sheet, I wrap the sheet up, and then I carry the sheet out and put it in the car. And then I come back in and I get my shirts, which are nice and flat now, and I carry them out and I lay them on top of the pile of clothes, the bag full of clothes that are in the trunk. I lay the shirts on top and I drive home. And then when I get here, I got a spot where the shirts hang over the bar, and then all the other stuff. I have a big box that everything goes in that I pull the clothes out of. There's 2 things in this world that women have made us do over the years. And I implore you to, if you ever get the opportunity to live by yourself, don't you ever make a bed, and don't you ever fold underwear and socks. It's just the stupidest thing. I don't fold anything. Why fold my bath towel? Why? Give me a reason why I should fold a bath towel. It comes here, it goes in the big box, right? Then when I need a bath towel, I know there's 4 or 5 of them down in there. I just reach down in and grab one. What does it matter? Even if my shirts are all wrinkled up, by the time I get to work in a steamy hot car an hour away, the shirt looks like it's been pressed and laundered. So I don't see the need of all the folding and hanging. And I watch these people in there setting their underwear up in little symmetrical stacks of exactly the same amount of undergarments. And then they'll have their socks. They match their socks up. Oh, this one looks like this one. And I'm like, these people are all freaking nuts. They're nuts. I reached out in there and grabbed 2 pairs of socks. I grab a pair of socks out. They don't have to match. All I buy is white socks. They're white socks. So as long as one white sock and there's another white sock, that's 2 white socks. Why do they have to perfectly match? I don't understand that. Oh, those socks. Okay, I guess if you're wearing shorts, you probably don't want 2 pairs of socks that look totally different. Okay, I get that. I buy the same kind of socks. All my socks are the same. They're standard white socks from Walmart. Why do I need to match those and fold those? Why? I don't get it. And t-shirts. For Christ's sake, they're t-shirts. Just, I put them all on one side as I pull them out. I put all the shirts on one side. I got 4 or 5 good pairs of pants. Those all hang over the shirts usually as I pull them out of the box. But the point is you don't need to fold laundry. It's a woman thing. They believe that you have to do this or you'll go to hell. A woman thinks that if you don't like make your bed, that you will literally rot in hell with the devil. And that sucks. It really does, because it's not true. It's not true. I'll be laughing at all you guys when I get there and realize I'm not going to hell because I didn't make my bed. I don't get making beds. Now, if you're holding a party at your house and you got people coming over, make the frickin' bed. I get that. I'm not saying you're, company coming over, you shouldn't pull your sheet up and make it look halfway decent. I know people that get up every morning and make their bed. I had a grandparent that ironed her sheets. Yeah. I bought a red shirt today. I've never owned like a collared shirt that's like bright red. I bought one today. They had these nice shirts. We were in, where were we? Macy's Men. We have 2 Macy's, Macy's Men, Macy's Women. It was the Macy's Men shop. I'm walking around in there. Was it Macy's Men? I think it was. And these were name brand shirts that were half price. And so we went and looked at them, and sure enough, they're like $17 to $20 a piece. So I picked up 3 of them. One of them is red. I mean red. Never had a shirt quite this bright, but it looks really nice. You'll be seeing it. Starting tomorrow, I go back wearing my nicer shirts again because I'll be on TV. I'm also considering getting some powder for my forehead. My forehead glows. It's like an alien landing right on the TV. I'm probably going to just get a little teeny bit of powder, not anything big, just a little powder to go right on one side of my forehead, right here, and then also on this cheek. I just need to get, because I'm greasy and oily, because all I eat is things that are drenched in grease and oil, and so I secrete oil 24 hours a day. It's pretty bad, and when I'm sitting in there, the George brand from Walmart. I think those are the ones I have, actually. They're just plain white socks. That's what you get. Moorhead, that's it. Look, I normally would just wear whatever. I got a bunch of old station shirts, and I would wear those to work every day because nobody sees me. I go to work, I say hi to everybody, but I mean, I really don't, I'm not seen by a lot of people. Even the big boss only sees me once or twice a week. And so I really didn't, before I dressed fairly nice. I always wore collared shirts because we're required to. And I always wore slacks and decent shoes. But I just never really cared whether it looked TV ready or not. But now it's different. I have to be, from the waist up, I have to be TV ready. And so I'm working on just a few little things. Like I said, probably just a little bit of powder for 2 spots. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm literally going to put a little powder on there and be done with it. Because we're not going to start wearing makeup. It's a news show. It's a radio show. We're not going to start. The guys on TV, all the guys on TV, they wear full makeup. Now, they don't look like Boy George, okay? It's very light because they're men, but they wear makeup. They do wear makeup. Moorhead, that's great. If I wear black socks, I get jock itch. Or, whatever they call it. I almost said camel toe. I get athlete's foot. Yep. I rarely get it because I'm not an athlete. But the 3 or 4 times I've got it in my life, it was while I was wearing dress shoes and black socks. And so I don't even have a pair of black socks right now. I think I have a pair stuffed inside my dress shoes in the closet. I think that's where my only pair of black socks are. But that's just because as a matter of fact, at the fire department years ago, I used to buy these socks from Galls, Galls, Galls Incorporated. They're still around. I used to buy these socks from them, and they had a white underside and a black top. So in other words, it was kind of like, those little socks you put on your foot and they just barely, you can't really see them if you got tennis shoes on. It's those, but with a black sock on top. So if you're wearing dress shoes, it looks like you're wearing black socks. But down inside the shoe, what's around your toes and your feet is white cotton socks. Those work good if you have a problem with smell, which I didn't much have a problem with, but the athlete's foot, like I said a few times, because it's those black socks are, sometimes not so great for that. In Vietnam, one of the most common problems our guys had in Vietnam was foot ailments, because walking through the jungles, wet boots, rotten feet, just rotten, all kinds of funguses and bacteria problems and everything else. They would even tell the guys, if it gets too bad and you don't have any medicine, just piss on your feet, because the ammonia in your piss will kill most of it. But yeah, it's one of those things. You got to keep the feet dry and keep them in those white socks. That's what I've had to do anyway. And I used to introduce the guys at the station to those split socks. Now, I haven't owned a pair of those in 20 years, but I bet you they still sell them. Marry 'em and bury 'em. Jungle rot in them. It was bad, dude. These guys' feet were down in the mud all day and all night. And you can't take your boots off when you're in a war zone. You got to be ready to move. So yeah, it's difficult. And they would give them so many pairs of clean socks, but you would go through them and and yeah, it was terrible. All right, let's see what's next here. Sweeping egg recall now affects more than 1.5 million dozen units of, they're saying now salmonella, 1.5 million dozen eggs. That's 180. What am I doing that right? 18 million eggs. That's 18 million eggs. That's a lot of eggs. Yeah, trench foot. That trench foot actually is a term that comes all the way back from World War I or II, but same thing. No, they actually have a whole day-long class on how to take care of your feet and your boots. And you know, I take it from somebody who was a firefighter. Boots are nasty, and we were only issued one pair of boots. And we started doing things like taking our air dryers that we had and hooking them up to hoses and blowing them down in our boots and stuff to get our boots to dry. It was crazy. I used to powder my boots twice a week when just because they would just get nasty. We had to, anytime I get back, if they were already wet, I would go ahead and rinse them out and clean them out and soap them out. And then, sure enough, as soon as you got these soaking wet ass boots and this soaking wet ass bunker gear, and then all of a sudden another call comes in where you got to put all that freaking shit on and it's soaking wet. Nowadays, most departments, now this was years ago, I was a fireman 25 and 35 years ago, so it was a long time ago, but back then, no one got two sets of gear. Everybody had one set of gear. Nowadays, from what I understand, most of the bigger departments, everybody has two full sets of gear. So while one set's in the cleaner or the dryer or the boots are drying or whatever, you've got another clean set you can go put on the truck for the next call. That would have been nice. You have no idea how nice that would have been. Moorhead, that's a good idea. Dryer sheets in the boots. I don't think we ever tried that. Another Democrat pulled over for DUI. They love drinking and driving, those Democrats. Where's all these stories here? That Obama Center thing just keeps me pissed off. You know, when they originally agreed to that, they said they were going to put together a $150 million endowment of money from 5 different sources and a bunch of different donors. And then this endowment would then be available to insure off of, and it would also be available to cover operating expenses of the Obama Center for the first 10 years, and so on and so forth. And they build the entire thing, they get all done. 2 years later, they ask them, so how's that endowment going? Oh, you know, we never got to that whole endowment thing. They never did it. So I guess Obama just figures, hey, I guess the government subsidy will pick this up or something, right? I think we had dryer sheets 30 years ago. I think we did. Oh. Yeah, I hate nasty, wet, smelly shit. We had all 3 of the station lieutenants. I was one of them. I was a station lieutenant for 9 or 10 years. It was the job I did the longest. I loved running my own trucks in my own station. And I would tell guys, you stink, go take a shower. I mean, I had no bones about it because I did not like smelling people's asses. And we get back from a call, and I'd go take a shower. 3 or 4 other guys in there. We had 4 showers. Everybody's taking showers. And then we'll be sitting there later watching TV, and I'm like, one of you bastards stinks. And everybody would start smelling everybody, and it's like him. Did you take a shower? No. You put out a house fire. Go take a shower, stank ass. My laundry process is just simply what's realistic. It's a realistic laundry process. Oh, that crazy man Carville. He's the one shaking his cane at the moon. He is even telling the Democrats, pass the SAVE Act. Just let it happen. It's going to happen. Just let it happen. These Democrats cannot let go. As you guys know, the SAVE Act is the act that Donald Trump and a bunch of other members of the House and the Senate are trying to get through the House and the Senate. Well, it's through the House. It's passed. The SAVE Act is passed. Now it's stalled in the Senate. This is ridiculous, if you know what I mean. Why are we doing this? What's the problem? Why is it being held up in the Senate now? I'll never understand how so many people that claim to care about honesty and integrity cannot support this. I don't understand it. All this bill says is we're going to take the illegal people off the rolls. We're going to take people that are non-citizens off the rolls. We're going to take people who are dead off the rolls. And then we're going to check IDs to let them vote. That's all it says. That's all it says. If your voters were legitimate, you shouldn't have a problem with this. But the fact that you got so many fake-ass voters out there, dead voters, nursing homes where they vote for all 250 members of the nursing home. They found one out there in California. You know what they were doing? No, I think it was in Louisiana. Anyway, you know what they were doing? These 4 women that worked a night shift at this nursing home, right? They hatched a scheme. They were doing it year after year, every time there was an election. And what they would do is they would file for an absentee ballot for everybody in the nursing home. And they would put the reason because they're in a nursing home and they can't leave, so they need a mail-in ballot. So they would get mailed a mail-in ballot to the nursing home. The people never knew they even applied for this ballot. So then when there would literally be hundreds of these come in, and they would be put in the boxes. And then the night shift would come in and pull them all back out of the people's boxes and put them under, hide them somewhere. And then as the election got closer, they would sit there on the night shift and kill time by filling out these ballots, and they would go and mail them 10 or 20 at a time until they got them all mailed out. I'm not lying. This was caught. This is actually something that's happened. I don't think I could burn enough calories making a bed to count, but okay. Yeah. All right. Iconic roller coaster going to take the final ride. The fans say goodbye after decades of thrills. Guests have until early August to experience the beloved ride before it is torn down and replaced. One of Florida's most iconic roller coasters. Oh, shut up. Is preparing for its final ride after more than 3 decades, sparking a wave of nostalgia among theme park enthusiasts. Busch Gardens Tampa recently shared that Kumba will permanently close August 2nd after 33 years in operation, making it the end of one of the park's best-known attractions. When it debuted in 1993, Kumba was Florida's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster. It also featured the world's tallest vertical loop and quickly became the favorite among thrill seekers, according to Busch Gardens' announcement on its website. The nearly 3-minute ride takes guests through a 135-foot drop, reaches speeds of 60 miles an hour, and features 7 inversions. While Kumba is retiring, Busch Gardens said on Instagram it will replace the popular attraction. Oh my God, this thing jumped on me. Hold on. God almighty. Okay, here we go. Busch Gardens said on Instagram it will replace the popular attraction with Kumba's Revenge, part of a $100 million investment aimed at expanding the park's lineup of thrill rides. You know, for years I've thought Busch Gardens would eventually just go out of business, but they have managed to continually reinvent themselves and remain relevant. Fox News Digital reached out to Busch Gardens for comment. The announcement sparked an emotional response from coaster enthusiasts, many of whom shared memories of riding Kumba over the years. So sad to hear, said one person. Another called the coaster an old friend. And many fans are hoping that the successor will at least live up to the one that's being replaced. Now, you're probably asking, why would we need to replace this roller coaster? It's still a great coaster. People love it. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. It's straight up. 33 years of that roller coaster going around and around and around. The equipment just gets fatigued. It's fatigue. All the metal's fatigued, everything. And so this is a way to put an all new roller coaster in that will be good for another 30 years. But no, this has to happen with slower rides, like the Haunted Mansion, for instance. That ride can keep going forever. Those goon buggies can keep going forever in there because it's a slow speed ride, and it's not something that's crazy like a roller coaster. But a roller coaster, if you look at the torque that's being placed on that structure every single day, they eventually just want to go ahead and retire it. They may even have a reason why they're doing it. They may have repairs that are coming due and they just don't want to do them, or they may have issues that they're nursing along and that they're going to need to deal with pretty soon. So yeah, kind of weird. But yep, they're closing it. And of course, people are flooding the media pages, bitching about it. But what are you going to do? It's business. You know, sometimes you have to close one thing and build another. And I don't like it either. You know, they've taken like Disney World and also Disney Studios and Epcot, as well as Adventure Islands. And what's the other one that's with that? Island of Adventure, whatever. All those parks up there, the Disney and the non-Disney parks, they have all taken down rides that I thought were amazing and put up rides that I thought was absolute shit. And that's happened in every park. I don't know why. They had such an amazing ride. Back to the Future was an amazing ride. And they took it out and replaced it with something that was total garbage. So it does suck when they, you know, they don't, it doesn't seem to be an upgrade. So often in this life, upgrades are not upgrades. They're downgrades. And that's just the way I look at it. Anyway, let's see what else. Let me see what else is going on here. Man, I'm tired, guys. This has been a long week with the guest hosts and everything. And Daddy Kitty, of course. He's sound asleep over there. I don't want to bother him. Mayor Fry's top assistant. You guys remember Mayor Fry, right? That's Minneapolis, Minnesota. Mayor Fry, top staffer, nabbed for stealing cash as the city scandal deepens. And the former Obama spokesperson now charged with financial felonies in a city engulfed by fraud scandals. This guy, Fletcher, allegedly used co-workers' cards to buy Kratom. He was apparently hooked to it like phonics. And he would buy it from a smoke shop right down the street. And he would buy it on his way back to school while he was on substance abuse counseling. It's always nice. I mean, if you're going out for substance abuse counseling, then that makes it convenient to go ahead and buy your substance that you're abusing on the way back to school. Or on the way back to work, I should say. This guy was lifting his coworkers' debit cards, driving down to the smoke shop, and buying that kratom shit. That's messed up. And by the way, this guy makes big money. He makes like, I don't know, I'm looking, they say it somewhere in here. He makes like $160,000 a year or something. There was absolutely no reason for him to have to steal anything, except that he had taken so much of this stuff and he was requiring large amounts of it to stay wherever it was he wanted to stay. And so he was just stealing large amounts of money and ended up stealing from the city, and then he stole from a bunch of coworkers as well. What a piece of shit. Another typical Democrat, worked for Obama, now works for Fry, and he is a thief, piece of shit. A piece of excrement. And guess what? Apple is raising all its prices yet again. They just had a big price increase 60 days ago. Apple's doing it again. Apple Music, Apple One, all their basic licensing stuff is all going up dramatically. So another big tax, another big price increase for Apple. And they're blaming it on licensing costs. Johns Hopkins now saying that AI is finding cancer in scans that humans are missing. That's encouraging. Looks like the bison victim is finally speaking out. All right, and that's about it. Let's take a look at space weather real quick. Increasing chance of solar flares today, tonight and tomorrow. The magnetic field of big sunspot 4493 is complexifying. Yeah, it's complexifying. Yet again, after some simplification yesterday, it's once again developing an unstable delta configuration that poses a threat for strong solar flares. This, according to NOAA forecast, estimate a 55% chance of an M flare and a 10% chance of an X flare during the next 24 hours. And the Starship 13 launch has been rescheduled again. They're having some problem with this thing. And it's going to be blasting off from the Texas Starbase. Starship will deploy 20 production Starlink V3 satellites for the first time. These are super Starlink satellites, 10 times more capable than previous models. They're so massive that they need Starship to launch them. Ironically, the satellites will disintegrate 40 minutes after the launch of the suborbital flight, because this is just a test. The main purpose of the flight is to prove Starship can actually deploy operational Starlink V3 type satellites. But that's not all. A second goal involves the heat shield and controlled re-entry systems. After deploying the satellites, the ship is meant to survive atmospheric re-entry and perform a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. We'll have to see if they can get that one off the ground. And as we said, Tropical Storm Bertha now inland Texas, and really posed no threat. I don't think there's even damage reports or anything. There's nothing. This was just a complete dud. I really don't think there's much to it. It's over now. It is the remnants are going to track down into central Mexico, and may even emerge into the Pacific. So we'll have to see that. But there you go. The tidal surge risk is now abated, and the rain and everything is pretty much nothing left of this thing. It's pretty much done. All right, and just a quick reminder about the sponsor for this half hour. This half hour of the show is sponsored by Trumpalax. That's right, Trumpalax, a laxative for when the Trump derangement syndrome has you all backed up with all kinds of bitterness. That's right, Trumpalax, the power to shit it out. Try it today. Clears up all that toxic bullshit that you've been getting from years from all those left-leaning media outlets. So try it today. When you're full of shit, try Trumpanol. Get some today. Trumpanol, the makers of the #1 treatment for Trump derangement syndrome. Trumpanol, making Trumpalax. Yeah, but I'm not above aerosol and that shit and spraying it on crowds with B-3 bombers. But yeah, you can do it however you want. All right, let's see here, guys. I'm about to call this. Let's do last call for the chat room. Last call for the chat room. All right, I do appreciate everybody being here tonight. An update for those that missed it early on. Daddy Kitty is still here with us. He's hanging in there. I said I would not take him unless I was sure. I'm sure that he's not going yet because he's still walking and talking. He's doing great. He's cuddling with me at night. He's not showing any of the 6 signs that he's in pain. He's not sitting staring at walls. He's sleeping soundly. That's probably the biggest one. A cat in pain will not sleep. And this cat is sleeping like a big fat baby right now. So, well, not really fat, very thin, but a big baby right now. So I think between all the things that I'm monitoring and everything else, I decided to not take him yesterday and have him put down. Couple nights ago, I got home and he couldn't stand up. And what I think happened was he had been sleeping for about 6 hours because I'd been gone for a while. And he was sound asleep. And I ran over there and picked him up. And I'm like, here, stand up. And he fell over and he wouldn't even try. And I got all upset because that meant I had to take him in the morning. You know, that's the threshold, right? And so I got all upset. And then later that night, he's walking, talking, crapping, peeing, doing his thing, talking to the other cats, hanging out, cuddling with me. And so I realized that, he's not done yet. He's having a rough time, and it could go any minute now. It could be very bad. But actually right now where we're at, we're going to continue to move here and go forward, and hopefully he actually seems a little teeny bit better the last couple of days. Each day just a little better. So we're going to keep him going. I'm feeding him as soon as I get done here in about 5 minutes. I stopped at the store on the way home very briefly. I went to a Tractor Supply. I'll pay the extra 10 cents because I didn't feel like going into Walmart. It's 10 or 20 cents more for each can, but I picked up 5 more cans of his favorite food. And then I'm going to Walmart on Saturday. I'm going to get a bunch more. But he gets a certain kind of food that he likes. He likes the mixed grill is the one he likes. Yep. That figures, Lambert. That figures. The last thing a liberal wants is to be confronted with anything that looks like or resembles the truth. Yep. That's how the liberals do business. If you cannot confront them with the truth, then no one ever hears the truth. And that's literally how they do it. Yeah, well, the left wouldn't know ethics if it ran them over like a bus. But that's okay. All right, guys, anything else in the chat room? I'm getting ready to sign off. Coming up on 2 hours of broadcasting tonight. Listen, programming note. Programming note. As of tomorrow, everything returns to normal. I will be on each day at 9 p.m. instead of 9:30. That was just for 4 days while I was working a different shift at work. But right now, as of tomorrow, Trey's back. I go into my regular position. My other two producers are back. And I will be able to get out of there by right at 7 o'clock, which allows me plenty of time to get home and eat and get the show on at 9. Lately, I've been leaving at 8:15, which means I pull in here just minutes before 9 o'clock. Wait, Daddy is sound asleep. I mean, just sound asleep. No, he's still breathing. I can definitely see him still breathing over there. All right. I don't rule out him dying in the night either. I mean, this is one of those things. He's a sick little kitty. But I'll let you guys know what happens. Yeah, that's not bad, Dispatch. Thank you for that. Thank you for all the work you did there. I appreciate it. And Dispatch, probably going to do something with Mom on Saturday. So let me know what time would be best Sunday, and I can give you whatever time we need to finish it up. I'll have plenty of time on Sunday. So Sunday's the day, it looks like. And then Mom's going with the other side of the family to Key West next week. She likes it down there. It's a neat place. And so, yeah. Yeah, and he sleeps very soundly. I went a while back and read all the different things you look for to see if a cat is actually in pain or not. And believe it or not, deep sleeping and easily sleeping, restfully sleeping, those are all things that don't happen with a cat that's in a lot of pain. So when I see him sleeping very soundly, and then I wake him up, and I realize he was in REM sleep. I mean, that's what happened to him. He's an old man. I come home and woke him out of REM sleep and expected him to stand up and stand at attention, and he wasn't doing it. Yeah, he's doing good. Guys, I won't keep him around just for me, okay? The moment he's not viable, I will put him down because I love him, and that's what you have to do. I want you guys to understand that. The moment he's no longer viable or the moment that he shows signs of pain, I put him down. But I also have pretty strict rules on viability. I have had a cat, my scooter cat almost was dead. Just about lost the ability to stand and walk. Was planning the day to put him down. And he started coming back, and he ended up living a few more years and then died. And then we had to put him down again, same thing again. But we did get 2 years out of him. I don't know what was wrong with him. And I've had several other cats that have gotten some illness over the years. Cats are hardy creatures, man. They really are. When they say they got 9 lives, the reason they say that is because cats survive things that most other animals don't survive. I mean, that cat that we're talking about, Daddy, had a hopelessly compound fractured leg. And we chased him around for a week trying to catch him so we could go put him down humanely. And he wouldn't let us get a hold of him. He was scared of us. And he wandered off and came back a month later, and he's putting weight on the leg, and it's looking better. And before long, you can't even tell it was broken. And I slowly made up with him, and he was kind of living across the street at Richie's house. Richie passed away, and so we welcomed him over here as one of ours, and that was years ago. And he's been a great cat. This is the cat that raises all the kittens. He's a male cat, and he loves nothing more than to raise little kittens. Well, you're welcome, Kat, and everybody. I'd love to do this. This is a passion of mine, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it as well. Um, yeah, I mean, cats can do things that no other animals can do. They've almost got superpowers in a way, and one of their superpowers is the ability to do the damnedest things and not really be permanently injured. Kind of amazing. That's why they joke around about the 9 lives. It's not the cat food necessarily. People have been saying cats have 9 lives for 100 years because they do. They seem to have an unlimited number of chances at things, you know. So we're gonna try it. I'm gonna go over and wake him up now because I'm gonna feed him. I want to feed him before I go to bed. So what I'll do is I'll wake him up and I'll hang out with him for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll start rousting him up a little bit so he can be ready to eat. And then I'll go get the food. I also have Blue outside who has dental problems, and I'm feeding him strictly wet food as well. So I got a space where I go take him and put him so he can eat his wet food, and the other cats don't take it from him. And then the other cats get wet food once a day. I open a big can once a day. They also get an unlimited amount of dry food, pretty much. I mean, I don't keep filling it all day, but they get a big, huge bowl in the morning and a big, huge bowl in the evening, which keeps them going. It's plenty. A lot of times when I go to fill the bowl again, there's still a little bit left in it. So that's how you can kind of tell when you're putting out enough food. And in Florida, I tend to feed them in the morning, and then I feed them again late at night, or not late at night, but right after the show. The reason is because it rains during the day. If I put out food and then it rains, I end up wasting a bunch of food. So, all right, guys. Well, it looks like that's going to be good for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Yep, so tomorrow night and Saturday and Sunday, and from now on, I'll be back to 9 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow's our Friday night show, and then on Saturday and Sunday, both days, I'm going to try to be available after 5 o'clock or after 4 o'clock. If something's going on, I'm going to go live, but it's all going to depend on if there's anything going on. This last Saturday, there was 5 different things going on. I went live at 6 p.m. We tripled our numbers for a regular night. It was great. So that was awesome. We had a great show tonight, guys. 731 viewers. That's really, really good. The average view duration it's fair. It's pretty good. I wasn't really in a rant. When I start fighting with people like these trolls and stuff, my average view duration goes way up. And we had no trolls tonight, so that's how that works. All right. Anyway, I hope everybody had a good one, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back here tomorrow night at 9 o'clock for our Friday night show, 9 Eastern time, and we'll see you guys then. Don't forget Strange New Worlds. If you're into Star Trek, I would go watch it. It's decent Trek. I do like the cast in that show. I love the cast in that show. The Ensign Mount is great as the captain. There's certain other ones. The woman that plays Nurse Chapel and the guy that plays Dr. Mbinga. I love both of them. I think they're great. Number one, there's just some really good. Even the guy they got playing Scotty is pretty good. It's pretty good. And so and the woman that plays Uhura is really good too. So I've really enjoyed that show from a casting standpoint. The writing is hit and miss. The woke stuff kind of sucks, and they always throw out one really bad episode a season. So there's my assessment on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. The sub-headline would read, "Not near as bad as Star Trek Academy." Okay, so there you go. All right, guys. Everybody have a good one out there. My name's Ian. This is StarShip Adventures, the sights and sounds of Earth, broadcasting live from North Fort Myers, Florida via fiber optic over YouTube, the world's largest worldwide broadcast platform. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thanks for the likes. A special thanks to my moderators and my members, especially Dispatch, who keeps things going for me. I really appreciate it. And may the Force be with you as well. I love Star Wars, not near as much as I love Star Trek, but I love it. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night out there. KO4, EFS signing off, and QSY. Have a good night, everybody. This is the YouTube channel Starship Adventures, broadcasting live from Starship Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, in the United States of America. We thank you for joining us this evening for another broadcast of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, covering every breaking news story across this troubled planet of ours. We've brought you the raw, unfiltered pulse of the world in real time through our unique multi-screen format, broadcasting in high definition worldwide via fiber optic connection. Starship Adventures, a new kind of YouTube content. To our regular viewers, our loyal crew members, our amazing moderators, and everyone who tunes in each night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we thank you. Your support keeps this independent voice alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with another live edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on Starship Adventures. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you and these United States of America. This is Starship Adventures, and this concludes our broadcast day. Good night, America, and around the world. Kilo Oscar 4, Echo Foxtrot Sierra. Signing off. QSY, 7 3s, everyone, 7 3s.